Right, just a quick one on this video. We drove up to Sheffield to the Footprint Factory today to be shown around there by Tim. We was invited up by Tim and his brother Richard. So much hospitality, it was unbelievable, and educate me and all of us with what goes on there. What a fantastic job they do. I mean, they lost that company in 2008, and they brought it back, and they're really soldiering on, all British made. Yeah, really good effort by them. So yeah, if you can support them, have a look at the tools. You know, their chisels, bolsters. Get on their website, see what they sell. It's really good stuff. And watch the video. I was joined by Al the Trowel, Hooks, and Matthew. We had a great day. It really was. So all I've got to apologise about, the factory is so noisy, what goes on there. Some of it you can't actually hear us talk, and I don't think there's a way around it really. We had the mics on. I think it'd probably be better off if we didn't have the mics on and just use the cameras, which I had, or the phones and that. But have a look. I think it's a good video, and shows what, you know, the kind of work was going on. Yeah, old tough work.
What was that?
Morning. Sheffield. At the Footprint Factory. Tim, the directors, has given us a fantastic tour how it all works and what they do and that. And we're going to have a little walk around the factory now, and we're going to have a hands-on show on how they work things. Come across things.
These. And how about those? Those are very nice. Now, test the hardness to steal it, it's a huge pile. That's why we've got a pile. That's all we've got. This is amazing. And we're going to start. So we're just testing the hardness. This robot doing it. But again, I said the solid is too wide. You know, the robot's struggling with it. There's seriously couples in the robot.
Without our job, but for these people, I think I'm going to be doing this job every day.
We're still using the docket divider. We're going to take the stick down and put a position of it. Okay, there are. Yeah. I didn't even know that. 400 degrees. So pull that out with the tongue. That goes up, put that there, drop it down. What is it? It's going to be a scotch. How are you going to do that? How are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? We're going to fall here. What have you done? Got the blades, couldn't work in there in the sun. It must be murdering in summer. Well, around there you'll see we've got fans on the wall. And we've stood next to the furnace, we'll have fans everywhere. Just blowing cold air on the blades.
This is the hardening process.
Now here we've got the Dixon oil. They're hardened. All forged, and we hardened them.
Is that, and then it goes to that?
These are 6x1/2" coaches.
Oh, they're little cultures.
It's a little coaches, the same steel, same size. So we've got the coaches here. Put it into the robot. If the line thing is forged, you put it off the strap.
Well, you can see this.
Cut off the edges from the gun. Finished the top. That's a red handle, a forged wedge. We machine the teeth in on this, so we put the teeth in. Now these have been annealed. We anneal when we take it softer than the original state steel, so it's easier to machine and you don't get the wear on the tool. We machine the teeth in. Machine the teeth in. This is a bigger one, but obviously you can see the teeth have gone in. And Andy here is just checking the expanding back gap there, making it fine. We'll grind down there, then we'll harden. Spins round and it puts the bevel on. Then it comes over here. Then we'll fix the bed. This puts the blade. Switch onto the other side to do the other end. These are some old pictures of
The old house. Size of those. And
See how
there's
this
the springs
one's
that go underneath them to cut
Yeah.
it all.
This was probably cut,
Moulding.
I'd say maybe in the 1970s.
Right.
But they've been warned that you have to recut them after 10,000 forges.
Yeah. Shimming, yeah.
And then you recut them, just basically just slice them off, reshape them. So that's quite an old die, whereas you've got this one new, you've got that's fairly new. So that's doing a wrench hook. So down here we've got all your other products. range of grip bolsters, mason's chisel, plugging chisel, bolsters, chisel, Put 1,000 line pins in there, we turn it on, we put a load of water and some it vibrates. Yeah. So then we can take
It's a steel polisher. Put your bits in there, it goes round. Would you say it was limestone?
You can put all sorts. This is like a ceramic bead.
Right.
You can put nylon beads in, you can put wax beads in, different finishes. And this is just a polishing machine. Brilliant. You could have a big expensive machine. You'll come down and pick this up.
That's cool, isn't it? That's proper cheap.
So that's where the customer in I think it's Skipton, in the Yorkshire Dales, basically said, can you make a really long culture to got blokes to do all the old barns, the all stone walls are made to fit.
Yeah.
There's no power tools that can use for that. So if they're just trying to key out a door or something like that, so can you do it? So we started doing it, but then other people do it. So we've got blokes who work with the Forestry Commission.
Yeah.
A lot of the old Forestry Commission are on the old coal mines. There's big concrete paths and they're like so this just means I have to get my hands and knees and got to put a channel.
Do you sell many?
We start to sell more, but again, it's our product's getting the word out there. We're saying what products we do, we're not making silly.
Well, I'm just putting the word out now for you. If you want one of these footprint tools.
But it's one of these. We can do loads of flooring chisels,
Chisel stock here.
electrician bolsters, cold chisels. So that's
already been marked up. Take that.
So that's the biggest side. Yeah, we've got all these. And then we've got masons. That's the mason's chisel. We do a lot of those into Canada and Norway. So weirdly,
Nice.
we weren't doing any of these in the UK. Probably about 12 a year.
They're
selling
lovely.
hundreds of
They're
them
really
into
nice.
Norway and Canada. And then COVID happened. We just thought, well, look, Amazon's the only company ordering anything. Let's just list them on Amazon, and it went nuts. So now doing more in the UK than these are to Canada and Norway.
Yeah, well that's such
But
a
it's
quality.
just-
So that's the pitching tool,
That's
isn't
the
it?
picture, and then we've got a nicker. So my hands are quite.
Hold them
that's the
two
nicker
up
there.
so they can see against each other, Al. So that's the difference. That's the nicker, what Al was using last week if you were watching him, and that's the pitching tool. The nicker is for nicking. The pitching tool is to put the pitching face on your stone, so you strike from the bottom and the top, so the stone gets pitched. Beautiful. These are the 14-inch comb chisel. They're an excellent bit of kit. Really good. You know where to get them from. There's actually, I didn't know they'd done this here. They're putting together the hand planes. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, look at these. Work of art.
So these plates, so I told you about hardening with heat steel up to cool it down. They've actually frozen these to harden. God knows how it works, but you can freeze steel to harden as well.
Yeah, I didn't realise they made these here. Look at this machinery. It's worth millions. It's scrap, isn't it?
Lots of CNC surface computers.
There's a part of the number 7 jack plane. I don't think I've actually seen one that big. I think they go up to 9. All machinery. Here's the paint shop. Blue. Not beige.
No beige.
Blue. They're going to do a special edition, apparently, 4-inch bolster for Al in beige.
Lovely. When painted product is in the heaters, the paint will burn. Fair enough.
There you
Is
go.
that allowed? Yeah. Speak to the people. What do you want me to say? What we're talking about the intro? We'll do that.
Oh, do that,
Yeah, we do that. Sure. What's this all about? The paint will burn.
So what we do, we dip each one,
Yeah.
and then it comes on these racks. Now this is a series of heaters, so we're basically cooking the paint on. So it's a process called stoving. So that's why the paint stays on. If we just let it air dry, it won't stay on as long.
Right.
However, sometimes, if they're in the heaters for too long, so it should be timed properly. That was just an example to show what it looks like when it's burnt, but it's covered in dust, we haven't used that for a while.
Oh, right.
But it can actually burn the paint, so the paint goes slightly brown colour.
Right.
So we just have that there as a bit of a quality check, but they'll wipe that off and check. But we had a few problems because the rack got slow. We need to keep greasing this, but if you grease it too much, it can set fire. So it's a bit of a...
Now you know.
That was your first one. See this is off there. Second one. What's your job, will you? When you start. Look. First one. This is the end light now. Second one missing it a little bit, but we'll be able to make a knife out of that. We'll make a knife out of it. And then hook.